Welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways, Freedom Edition. All right. I really want to get back to the homesteading stuff, but the events of the last couple of days require some thought, some observation, or at least some awareness. After a year of lockdowns, restrictions of civil liberties, growing suicides, drug overdoses, and instigated, accepted, acknowledged, and popularized violence on the part of the left, a demonstration happened in D.C. So let's just lay it out, okay? We literally, these same reporters who were telling you, excuse me for a moment. That's what that is. People who were telling you, while having fires as a backdrop to their reporting, telling you that the protests surrounding the drug death of George Floyd were peaceful, and that all the looting was good. Looting's not a crime because property is not, property damage is not violence, and therefore it's not a crime. These are the same people who are telling you that we need to round up and put in camps all of the terrorists who stormed the Capitol, who were let into the Capitol a couple of days ago. Now, I want to be really clear on some of this. There are three big issues for me, and I may have to separate them out into separate videos. One is that this was an act of political expression. You may or may not agree with it. What you need to understand, though, is that people got together in a group because they felt disempowered, disenfranchised, and made their grievances known. Yes, it was civil disobedience. Yes, civil disobedience is the way Americans tend to do this stuff. We also tend to not burn each other, shoot each other, or trash each other when we do it. This is a key element here in what defines the political expression from the rioting, okay? There's always edges, and there's always people with black bandanas who are going to try to make violence happen, all right? But the large-scale violence of Kenosha, of Detroit, of Oregon, or Portland, man, 3 years! They've been doing this for 3 years in Portland. Anyway, the use of lasers and fireworks and other ad hoc improvised weapons to try to disable or kill police. This kind of stuff, this isn't how we normally do. This isn't our political civil disobedience. We do political civil disobedience. We block traffic. We march around the doors of government buildings so that people can't get in. You know, we stand there with guns calmly and quietly without shooting people when we feel that there's a threat or that there's a need to do that, okay? It doesn't matter if you're white or black. We've all done that. It's a very valid form of political expression in America. So, some dudes go into the Capitol. Now, of course, property is violence because it's the other side, or the perception of the other side, or because the media is trying to define another side. So this is the first big thing here is what is civil disobedience, and what is the purpose, and what are they doing? Second, of course, is the media portrayal. And then third, we need to talk about a little bit of history, but let's one step at a time. So these people went in, and they wanted a redress of grievances. Here's the thing. This election process got rammed down our throats with the idea that there has to be a timeline. You cannot violate the timeline. You just have to accept it. Accept the results no matter what it is, and we might fix it later, we might investigate later, maybe someday, possibly, but you have to accept the timeline. We've done this before, And I really feel that this was a situation where we should not have done it. And the only reason we did ram the timeline through is because people have been told 98% of the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 4.5 years that they have to hate Trump. Don't underestimate, I say this over and over again, but don't underestimate the level of propaganda. We're at a point where even the independent media keeps using words of violence to describe what happened at the Capitol. The brainwashing, the programming is so far gone that people who want to sound moderate are immoderate. Okay, they have to use propaganda words, the propaganda words that are being fed to them. Oh man, so I'm a little annoyed about this. I'm annoyed because no one is willing to discuss what happened, why it happened. Yes, we know that Antifa staged a bunch of stuff. We know that the police just let people in past the perimeter with no, not even, they just opened the gates. There was no attempt, okay? They're just like, okay, it's time, open the gates. There was a lot of really dodgy stuff that happened there. It felt like a stunt that got out of hand. Although with people like Pelosi and Schumer involved, I'm not sure that it actually got out of hand. It may have been exactly as planned, and that all the way up to shooting Ashley. I would not put that past them. That's the kind of politics and theatrics they play. But the protest, the gathering, the demonstration, the hundreds of thousands of people in D.C., that part was people airing grievances for redress. We got shafted. We got railroaded on an election, and I don't know what the results are. I don't know what the real results should have been. No one knows, because you can't audit votes that magically appear in the middle of the night. At this point, if you audited the vote count, okay, you can get whatever answer authority tells you, but you can't audit the votes. You can't check, too many votes were cast in too many compromised circumstances, or gathered, or the chain of custody was broken, or the SD card might still be missing. Like, it was a shit show, a total shit show, and people are airing a grievance, and the grievance is very real and very serious. And in the next video, we'll talk about the portrayal of this grievance. Hang tight, because I'm going to try to keep this short.